Hey, Professor Z here with another tutorial on the Wheatstone audio board. As I mentioned in the last one, I want to go into some more details. I didn't want everything to be on the same video because then it gets too long, and also these are a little bit more deeper settings than what we needed to cover in the first video. So I'm just going to go in here. I want to show you what this set button at the top of the board does. So each channel has a set button. Those have hidden features below them. Not so hidden, but they're more advanced features for each channel. So on channel 1 here, I'm just going to hit the set button, and we'll see now we go to the input setting for that channel, and we have some different things here. On the input gain side, this is the gain level. So we have gain within here, and you have different settings for stereo, mono, left, right, and blend. What do these mean? Well, we have stereo sources, so like the CD player, if I click on that, it's a stereo audio source. You want that playing in stereo. But if I click on one of these video servers, you'll see I have it as blend. The reason why I have it as blend, and this is actually a common thing, especially in a lot of news organizations, is when you're out there with your camcorder, you have a shotgun mic and a lavalier mic plugged into it. They record to your left and right channel. Now, in post-production, we can mono both of those out so that they sound like they're coming out of both speakers. Some news organizations want you to keep it separate. That allows them to do more editing afterwards if they have to once they get your package. What the blend does is it'll automatically make sure it sums both of those channels back together to a mono. So even if you did your edit and you didn't blend those or make them both mono in post-production, you kept them as a separate left and right channel, the audio board is going to blend those back together so that way when we broadcast, we don't hear it as left and right. We're going to hear it properly the way it was intended to. So it's a really nice feature. You also notice on my microphone input, so I'm on input 1 here from the studio, at the top here, I have a PH. That's my phantom power. Any microphone that needs phantom power, I can give it phantom power just by pressing this. I turn it off, I turn it on. In the studio, we would see a light indicating whether the phantom power was on or off for that particular channel. So that's where I'd be able to do that. Now there's a lot of other stuff that we can do in here. There's mix minus buses. I'm not going to go into that. That's a whole other level there. We also have filters and gates and compressors and EQs and pans. So we can change how this particular input sounds in surround sound or left right. So there's a lot of different things we can do in here. We generally don't touch most of that within here. The only time I ever mess with the EQ is if we're actually recording music a lot of times. But for most people, we just keep it at the default, which does pretty well. So all the channels that are on here are set from the preset for Studio A right now. If I needed to change an input, say we were doing a show that wasn't normal, I need to program something else, I need to get something from another location, I need something from Studio B maybe to mix into it and blend those together. Whatever it happens to be, I can reassign any channel to be any input. And to do that, like I'm going to take this one, right? Now it's labeled a cafe. This is a microphone input that's over by Einstein's that we use once in a while if we're going to do something out in the atrium. I don't need that right now. Maybe I need it to be something else. To change it, I'm going to hit the set button, so I'm identifying which channel I want us to change. And over here on the top right, I have a source select button. I'm going to press that. You'll see on the touchscreen I have an input selector. And I have different tiers. And I'm just going to use the same source select knob. I can scroll up and down. You say I have Studio B, Studio A, no location, radio. To choose any of those tiers, I hit the take button, and now it's going to expand that, and I have a lot more choices. It'll show me what's already selected, but then I have other ones I can choose from anywhere. And once I like one, and I want, maybe I want to use, we go to my no location, which is really the forum. I want to use that, and I'm going to hit the take button, and now I've changed this to forum 8. So to change any source, again, I hit the set button here, I hit the source select button, I scroll through them, and then I hit my take button, and it'll change it on this slider. So I can do that. Again, I also have 48 channels to work with. This is only 24 of them. If you look on the touchscreen here, in the middle here, there's a page button. If I hit push that, it's going to show my other 24 sources. And then on each channel here, you also see it has a page button. And that's what it's going to show me. It's going to show me what's on the underneath one. We don't usually use that many sources at once here. We haven't run into that situation. Where might I use 2 pages on one channel? maybe we're doing a high profile thing and we want to make sure, maybe we double mic somebody. It's a very common thing. You see it when the president gives an address, they have 2 mics on the podium there. Now you could have 2 sliders next to each other. That takes up space this way on your board. What a lot of times they do is they bury the sliders on top of each other. So here's my main slider on top, and I hit the page button. The same thing for the other mic is right below it. So if my main mic dies, I hit page, and it's in the same spot without having me go somewhere else on the board. That would be the only reason why I would use that. Now another feature I don't think we use enough is the groups. So you see we have these 4 blue knobs here, group 1 through 4. We're not using them at all right now, but we can. And the way to do that is you see every channel has a group selector right here. And we can do groups 1 through 4. So I'm going to take a scenario. I have 2 anchors here, anchor 1, anchor 2. I'm going to assign them to group 1. So all my anchors are on the same group. Because maybe I only have 2 right now. Maybe I have 5 anchors. I'm doing a big talk show. They're all together. We go to commercial break. Now I got to kill all 5 of those mics at once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or I get all of my fingers out and do them at one time. Versus I could take down an entire slider and kill an entire group at once. So to assign something to a group, so here's my 1 and 2. I'm going to hit the set button. And once I have set selected, over here on my top right, I have input channel group assigns, and I'm going to assign it to group 1. Do the same thing with my other mic. Now they're both assigned to group 1. And I'm going to unassign them for my main output, because here's my main output. You see master 5.1/stereo 1. That's 5.1/stereo 1. I don't want it going through there now. I want it going through the group. I'm going to assign this group to 5.1. So essentially, instead of this going straight to the master slider, I've now made it go to the group first and then go to the slider. Because then now I'm going to take these server outputs and put them in group 2. And now all my video servers are in group 2. And now when I want to take out, so now I have all my microphone inputs, and now we're going to break, I can just take down, or I'm playing a video package, I can just take down the entire group with one slider instead of having to go through and do each microphone individually. Same thing with the video packages. I can take the entire video package with one thing. I do this with music a lot. If I was doing a band, I put the whole drum set on one group. Now, once the drum set is EQ'd and balanced out, I can make the whole drum kit louder or quieter with one slider instead of going with 10 sliders at once. We don't use this a lot in here. It's okay. You don't have to use it. On a bigger show, I would personally be using it, but it's not needed. If you want to try it, go ahead and do it. Remember, I can just go back, arm the saved event, and it goes back to where it was before, so I don't have to worry about messing it up for the next person. I can always go back to my saved settings. So that's some of the more advanced settings on the soundboard. There's more things we could go into. We don't use all of them here. We don't use the entire board at once, and that's okay. If you have other questions about how to do some of the higher end stuff on here, please don't be afraid to ask me. There's a lot more we can do. We can customize it for shows. As you saw on my events tab, when we do big shows, I'll make a custom layout just for that show and save it, so that way we can come in and come back to it. In fact, it doesn't just have to save the assignments. We can even save volume levels. So if we're doing a big show, I can set all the volume levels and then make a save of that setting. So when we come to do the show the next day, if someone came in here and messed with it, it doesn't matter. Just load up what we have saved, and it's going to go back to exactly how we had it for our show the day before, do our quick sound check, everything should still be working fine, and we do our show. So that's it. And that is everything that you need to know about the Wheatstone. So please, if you have any more questions, leave a comment below, email me, however you want to get a hold of me. Let me know what else you need to know about this board or any other equipment that we have in the studio here, and I'll be happy to do another video for that in the future. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Professor Z, signing off.